Everybody, I'm Julie Dalton from RSS Riverdale Senior Services. I'm delighted to see so many of you here this evening. We're so happy to welcome back the Flume Ensemble from Riverdale Country School. This is the fourth concert that they're doing for RSS, and we are so grateful. I can't think of a better way to end the evening of Passover and to end Easter and a Sunday evening. So sit back and enjoy. I know you're in for a treat, and please join me in welcoming the Flume Ensemble.
Okay, go ahead. We're ready.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Good evening. We're the Flume Ensemble based at Riverdale Country School. And it's, as Ms. Dalton said, the fourth concert for the RSS community that we're doing since the beginning of the pandemic in March. And even though the situation currently makes it difficult to meet face to face, we're very grateful that we can still share this virtual space with you all. And it's not, that easy putting together a concert of this kind, especially during, all our schedules in high school. But we are glad to be able to use our time to share our music with you all. At our last concert, a Miss Luciana Pepinella, sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, but she left a bit of a heartwarming comment in the chat, and I wanted to start by reading that for you all. She wrote, "My mother had this Ave Maria." We had played an Ave Maria. "My mother had this Ave Maria sung at her church wedding on October 12th, 1938. We also had this Ave Maria sung at her funeral mass. Since then, unfortunately, it has become much less known, but I wanted to thank you for playing it today. And well, I wanted to say thank you, Miss Pepinella, for sharing your story with us. We felt, quite moved by your story and wanted to extend our thanks and our music to the RSS community one more time. We have a couple new members this time around, and so I wanted to start off with a few brief introductions. And so I can go first. My name is Henry Yoon. I'm a junior at the Riverdale Country School, and I play the cello.
I'm Daniel Choi. I'm a sophomore and I play the oboe.
I'm Sherry. I'm a sophomore and I play the violin.
I'm Claire. I'm a sophomore and I play the oboe.
I'm Lauren. I'm a sophomore and I play the violin.
I'm Daniel. I'm a freshman and I play the flute.
I'm Izzy. I'm a freshman and I play the cello.
We have selected the theme music and film for today. Now, the film music you hear when you go to watch a movie is an integral part of the cinematic experience. And it's been important enough to warrant its own awards category at the Oscars. Now, although a lot of us can't go to the movie theater nowadays, we'd still like to revisit a lot of the most iconic film music moments over the past 80 years. So be prepared to take a trip down memory lane, and there will be spoilers for these 20th century movies.
The year is 1997. On a cold December night, the movie theater is filled with moviegoers, eager to see James Cameron's new film, Titanic. There had been rumors about how the movie had gone $100 million over the budget, but you push that to the back of your mind and anxiously wait for the movie to start. The movie opens with a slideshow of images of the ship from 1911. Titanic portrays a beautiful love story amidst the tragedy of a sinking ship. The movie would soon become an iconic story of romance and disaster, winning the 1998 Oscar for Best Picture and entertaining millions for years to come.
It is scenes like the ending of Titanic that show that his award was well-deserved. Jack and Rose drift through the icy water afloat on a door which had broken off during the sinking. Jack uses his last bit of strength to lift Rose on top of the door. his head barely above the water. As his life fades away, he leans over to Rose and whispers one last thing in her ear. Promise me you will survive and that you will never give up, no matter what happens, no matter how hopeless. Promise me now and never let go of that promise. In difficult times like these, we sometimes feel that we are figuratively drifting in an ocean with little hope for rescue. We may lose things that we hold close to us, but I hope Jack's last words give us the courage to go on, the will to survive.
Is this us?
Well-known blockbuster, Star Wars premieres. It would not only smash every single box office record in existence, but it would also become the movie franchise that fundamentally changed pop culture. And it continues to build its intergalactic world and weave fascinating characters together 44 years later. It was met with enormous success, with people packing multiple city blocks to watch, rewatch, and rewatch the story of a young farmer's boy who, with his group of ragtag friends, stands up against a galactic empire.
Yes. Yeah, just to add on to what Daniel just said, I think that it's pretty safe to say how undeniably impactful Star Wars has been in pop culture. You can see that through the famous quote that Darth Vader says to Luke Skywalker, which is, "I'm your father." That quote has been countlessly replicated and memed and referenced in pop culture today. And also, kids really enjoy spectacular lightsaber fight scenes. But I think we should all give a lot of credit to John Williams, who's the Star Wars films composer, since he really orchestrated a lot of the iconic and brilliant music that we know so well today. And what's really remarkable about him is that, like, yes, he's won a lot of Oscars. He's won 5 Oscars, but also he's been invited to perform at venues that are traditionally meant for classical music, like Beethoven or Mozart or Shostakovich. John Williams has been invited to perform in these venues, and I think that says a lot about how he's just really able to just bridge the gap between classical music and pop culture, and that's pretty incredible. And so, with that being said, I'd like to present our performance of the Star Wars theme song. So, please enjoy.
We now go further back from 1977 all the way to 1600s Europe. Though today women serve a very valuable purpose in opera singing, during the lifetime of Handel and Bach, women were prohibited from performing, not just in public, but for the purposes of religious ceremonies. So, who sang the sopranos of the 1600s? Young boys with a talent for singing were castrated before the onset of puberty. This ensured that their high-pitched voices could be conserved throughout their life. They were called castrados. Thankfully, by the 1700s, people realized that this was pretty humane and banned the practice entirely. However, many castrados fell victim to one of the cruelest and violent fates a boy can suffer.
The film Farinelli tells the tragic story of one of the more famous castratos, commonly known by his stage name Farinelli. In today's world, countertenors are a highly trained vocal artist with a vocal range equivalent to those of the female contralto or mezzo-sopranos, but they are, of course, fundamentally different from castratos. In order to produce the singing voice of a castrato in the movie, the filmmakers digitally merged the recordings of a soprano and a countertenor. The piece we'll play today, Lascia Ch'io Pianga, appears at the climax of the film, where the antagonist of the film, Handel, nearly faints from Farinelli singing. Soprano Soo Chung Kim will provide the voice for a performance of the piece.
The film Love Story, which is similar to Titanic in that it explores themes of overcoming class differences, explores the love between two students who come from very different socioeconomic backgrounds. One is a poor music student who falls in love with a rich Harvard law student against the family's opposition and her own struggles through her terminal illness. The movie is still, to this day, considered to be one of the most romantic movies by the American Film Institution for its depiction of the innocent nature of love.
Romantic relationships are meaningful for the shared experiences and memories that shape the individuals. At the height of their relationship, in one of the most memorable scenes in the cinema, Oliver and Jennifer play in a field of snow, making snowmen and snow angels. There is no fancy CG and no special lighting. In fact, the day is dreary and gray. But the love that Oliver and Jennifer have for each other brightens the mood, and you are left with a nostalgia that you didn't even know you had. Here is the theme from Love Story.
To turn to something happier and more upbeat, here's Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. The original song was released in 1967 by Frankie Valli. Its catchy lyrics and melody won its place in countless movies, TV shows, and commercials, and made way for numerous successful remakes. In the movie Conspiracy Theory, starring Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You appears as a main soundtrack, helping to develop a unique love story within the thriller.
Cab driver Jerry is obsessed with conspiracy theories, and lawyer Alice investigates a conspiracy theory regarding the death of her father. The film is filled with intense action and dangerous stunts, but it concludes with a love story. The movie ends with Jerry choosing to remain in the background to protect Alice from afar, and Can't Take My Eyes Off You begins to play.
The Wizard of Oz remains an important classic in understanding the history of film. It was remade into a number of musicals and animations that continue to pay homage to the original 1939 film. Its soundtrack, Over the Rainbow, enjoyed similar popularity, and it was featured in other films and media in both instrumental and vocal versions. But the original performance by Judy Garland as Dorothy is still one of the most memorable performances of the song. After Aunt Em tells Dorothy to find a place where she won't get into any trouble, she responds, "It's not a place you can get to by boat or a train. It's far away, behind the moon, beyond the rain," and begins to sing.
Unfortunately, Judy Garland did not live the happiest life ever, The pressures of early stardom affected her physical and mental health from the time she was a teenager, and her self-image was influenced by constant criticism from film executives who believed that she was physically unattractive and who manipulated her on-screen physical appearance. Throughout her adulthood, she was plagued by alcohol and substance use disorders. Though her life may have been tragic, it is the innocent appearance of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz which we remember and which she will always be remembered for. We honor her life today with Henry and Sherry's rendition of Over the Rainbow.
Before we share our final piece, we would like to ask you if you had any questions. So please feel free to ask.
You just unmute yourself. If you have questions, comments,
Yes.
they always leave us wanting more.
Oh, yeah. What is the next one?
I have a question. If we didn't have the pandemic, would you have been doing this combined music and video in this format for your type of performance?
I No, we would probably be doing just everything in person. The video is just because over Zoom, music just doesn't sound that great ever.
Really? I mean, it really has been sounding very. I
Yeah,
don't know,
like when you pre-record it and then just screen share the audio, it sounds like 10 times better than just feeding the music through the microphone.
oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you do the videos
Right.
also with that.
Yeah,
as
if it wasn't
opposed to
if it wasn't for the pandemic, we would be in person.
Yeah, of course. Right. Thank you.
We'll open up the mics again at the end.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I can't really do much right now. Oh yeah, my dad asked me when I plan to get a haircut. I got one 2 weeks ago. I don't know why it's not staying up. My bad.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we'll be moving on. Our last piece brings you the music of composer Ennio Morricone and his theme for cinema Paradiso, a movie which invokes complex feelings and thoughts, like fond memories of the past, love, and relationships, but as well as a sense of loss and heartache. Mr. Morricone sadly passed away last year. Cinema Paradiso remains as one of his most famous pieces. If a song could capture a composer's lifetime work, it may just be this piece.
The film goes something like this. Shortly after World War II, a young boy named Toto befriends Alfredo, a middle-aged projectionist at a local theater. Alfredo fills the role of Toto's father, Alfredo himself being a fellow cinephile and a mentor for young Toto. Before he passes away, however, Alfredo leaves a collection of brief clips of select movies and scenes from his job as a projectionist. Toto, now a middle-aged man himself, watches the spliced cuts with tears in his eyes. I myself saw the film twice while preparing for today's concert, and I had different takeaways from each time viewing the film. But I will say this: if the film were to come out today, and instead of in 1990, I am most certain that it probably would have won Best Picture award at the Oscars instead of Best Foreign Film like it did in 1990.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking this time this Easter evening to come listen to us play. With almost a third of the US vaccinated, we hope that we can play in person for you in the near future. So thank you very much and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. It was so beautiful. Wonderful way to spend the evening.
Thank you.
We're all applauding. If anyone has any questions, comments, thank these guys. They are amazing. They're really amazing.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're very talented, very wonderful.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, one way or the other, in person or on Zoom. We love you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
When's the next one?
Good night, everybody.
Yes.
They have to finish class and then I'm sure they have tests coming up that they have to study for. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
So-
Bye-bye.
Kisses. Bye.
Bye.
Closing things down now. Bye-bye.